Yeah, what's going on, guys? Seth Spartan here, nutrition training and hormone expert and Prometheus Pro bodybuilder. Guys, today we're going to be talking about Deca-Durabolin, everything you need to know. We're going to go through all the pros, no holds barred, and then we're going to go through the cons, no holds barred as well. So guys, let's get started. Let's go through the pros. Number one, guys, first and foremost, we're going to go through the anabolic androgenic ratio. Now, as you guys know, the anabolic androgenic ratio was invented by scientists to basically rate each individual anabolic steroid by both an anabolic component and androgenic component, with testosterone as the baseline of 100-100. So thereby just taking a look at the anabolic androgenic rating or ratio of DECA, we see that it is a 125 anabolic to only 37 androgenic, making it less androgenic than even drugs like Anavar and also Anadrol, that's an amazing pro. So in terms of anabolic, guys, yeah, it's only slightly more anabolic than testosterone. Nothing too much to boast, but it is a little bit more anabolic than testosterone. The big pro with this is that the androgenic sides are comparatively almost nothing. Having said that, guys, moving on. DECA is a 19-nor derivative steroid. What does that mean? It means it is a 19-nor testosterone, if you would, derivative. Testosterone derivative. So basically what that means is, guys, it's completely missing or taken out that 19 carbon, I believe it was, at the position, making it a 19-nor derivative compound. Now, this is good. This is well, we'll get into the bads in a little bit. But basically, guys, this is good in the sense that it's a 19-nor. Again, it's 19-nor derivative, making it resistant to metabolic breakdown. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So, being a 19-nor derivative obviously gives it a higher anabolic rating, and it also gives it low estrogen conversion. DECA has a very low estrogen conversion when compared to testosterone, just because it has a resistance to being broken down by the aromatase enzyme. And as we know, that's what breaks down testosterone or other anabolic steroids such as D-anabol. Moving on, guys, from 19-nor, low estrogen conversion, it is a progestin. And this is going to come with some cons, so hang around until we talk about all of these cons, which are many. But in the pros, it's a progestin, meaning that it's going to, it's a progestin and it stimulates collagen synthesis much more so than other anabolic steroids. We see this in medical studies, we see this in the literature. Apart from practical hands-on real application in terms of bodybuilding, fitness athletes, such and so forth, we know that people like to use DECA basically because of joint pain and other impingement in the joints, just because, again, it's going to attach onto joints, tendon, ligaments, stimulate collagen synthesis at a much higher degree than any other anabolic steroid would. Anyways, guys, moving on, I already talked about this a little bit, but Deca-Durabolin has a low androgenic rating, which means low androgenic effects. Now, this is great because this drug is stronger than testosterone in terms of anabolic, and that's not just from the anabolic androgenic rating. We know sometimes the anabolic androgenic rating is off, but in this case, in real-world studies, we see it line up. We see DECA milligram per milligram, regardless of ester, being a little bit more powerful than base testosterone. So having a low androgenic effect is great. All right, guys, we talked about the pros. You know what time it is. Let's move into the cons, and they are many. There are a lot of cons to talk about, so don't go anywhere and soak up all this vital information. Let's go. Cons. Number one con, guys. I'm going to talk about the number one con here, but before I do so, I want to hammer through these high risk. You have regular side effects, cons with drugs, and then you have major cons. I would be remiss if I did not go first through the high risk cons with Deca. So in terms of Deca use and abuse, you're looking at plaque buildup in the arteries. This is just, because Deca, this is just a well-known effect, especially in cases of abuse. You're going to speed up plaque buildup in the arteries. So having said that, plaque buildup in the arteries and also coronary artery disease are possible and probable if somebody is abusing Deca-Durabolin. Having said that, guys, and I talk about this a lot in my 2,000 milligrams of testosterone per week video, talk about this at length. The second is thickening of heart wall. I talk about this as well in my 2,000 milligrams of testosterone a week video too. I talk about this at length, guys. But basically, the left ventricle can get bigger or smaller depending on physical exertion, training, athletics, whether you're natural or enhanced. But in regards with steroid use and abuse, depending on dosage and length of time, what can actually happen is that heart wall itself gets thicker, thereby affecting the efficiency of the heart being able to pump out blood. We know this with engines too. A bigger engine is not always more efficient. So it's the same thing, except this is your heart that's pumping blood to your body. So thickening of heart wall, most of this goes away after anabolic steroids are discontinued, but there still is some permanent thickening of the heart wall, again, with long-term use and also abuse. So that has to be talked about. Third, high risk, heavy metals toxicity. Unless you're getting this stuff through Prometheus HRT or a hormone replacement clinic or your endocrinologist, you're going to have the problem of heavy metals. Again, anything that's veterinary grade or black market, they do not do that. Most of the time, they do not do that final pass through because it's not USP grade. They don't do that final pass through to pull out heavy metals, nickel, lead, arsenic, and the list goes on. So that's going to build up in your body. That's why, again, guys, even if you live in a country where Deca is legal, that's great, but make sure you're not opting out for veterinary grade. Make sure you're going and you're paying a little bit more to get the stuff from a pharmacy. Again, guys, let's go through, again, do everything safe and healthy. Having said that, guys, this is what you've been waiting for. Let's go up to the rest of the pros. I'll call them low-risk pros, or pros. We've already went through the pros. Cons. Let's go through the low-risk cons. And they are many. There's so many problems with Deca. That's why I hate Deca, and I would not advise anybody to use Deca, even if it's through a doctor and safely. It's just got too many sides. Unless you've got, even if you have bad joints, I would still advise the person to, seek out HGH replacement, either by, regular synthetic HGH replacement or boosting HGH levels up to the peak by using, again, I talk about, my Prometheus HRT cycle and using Ipamorel and CJC no-DAC combo to maximize natural HGH levels and get you up to where you were when you were 18. Having said all that, cons. Progestin hormone. This means it's going to stimulate progesterone receptor sites. Now, a lot of people are confused on this. They think Deca has estrogenic qualities, properties that exert effects. Not the case, guys. As we know, it barely converts to estrogen. But what it is because it's a 19-nor, it's technically, guys, scientifically, it's a progestin hormone. Which means that it's going to stimulate progesterone receptor sites. And guys, this is going to cause a myriad of problems, mainly because progesterone is not supposed to be, or progesterone stimulation is not really supposed to be something that happens in the male body. So what are some of these side effects? Again, being a progesterone hormone, it's going to have some nasty side effects such as water retention, gynecomastia, and again, this is not from stimulation of estrogen, but gyno from prolactin, from progesterone stimulation, acne, oily skin, etc. And again, most of this is because, yes, you're getting the effects of estrogen in combination with the progesterone stimulation, so it just kind of turns into a nightmare. Besides that, guys, it gets worse. So here, let's take a look at this. How does it get worse? It destroys libido, destroys sexual function, not just because of the progesterone binding, but also because, yeah, how can it get worse than this? Well, it gets worse because Deca still is able to be bound onto the 5-alpha reductase enzyme. So as we know, testosterone gets grabbed by the 5-alpha reductase enzyme, metabolized into DHT, dihydrotestosterone. Well, in the form of Deca, it's going to be grabbed onto by that 5-alpha reductase and transformed into a lovely hormone metabolite called DHN, dihydronandrolone. Dihydronandrolone has almost zilch androgenic activity. And where are DHT receptor sites found that DHN is going to bind onto? Well, in the male sexual organs, which is going to render your libido and your sexual function 0. Now, there are some people that, this effect is more pronounced, less pronounced, but the bottom line is that DHN is going to bind onto those DHT receptor sites, and instead of getting DHT effects in the male sexual organs, you're going to have severe impairment. And again, this ranges per individual, but I have heard horror stories with Deca use. And also this is going to destroy your confidence because, again, you have DHT receptor sites and androgen receptor sites in the brain. So not only does it destroy libido, destroy sexual function via DHN, and also we talked about, the progestin effects, but also the DHN is going to cause anxiety, mood swings. Instead of feeling euphoric, you're going to feel terrible. Now, again, this is very, I see this is dose dependent, and a lot of people might say, "Oh, I feel great on Deca. I feel awesome." Well, the thing is that a lot of time Deca, unless you're getting it with a prescription as you should be, Deca is commonly switched out for either equipoise or testosterone. So, just guys, do everything safely. Look at all the information. You can look all this stuff up, and my board looks crazy right now. But we talked about the high risk cons. We talked about progestin cons. We talked about the terrible effects of DHN, anxiety, mood swings, feel terrible, destroy libido, sexual function. Guys, would this be a hormone I would recommend to anybody? Even though you can get it at Prometheus HRT, no, I would not. You're better off doing testosterone, doing Anavar short term with your testosterone, TRT or HRT. You're better off using HGH, either the synthetic or peptides to boost you up to maximum levels. But if you're gonna do Deca, you say, you know what, I don't have any of those problems. I'm an alien or whatever. I want to do Deca. I'm already doing HGH, either replacement or boosting with powerful peptides. And I want a little bit more for my joints. All right, then you know what? I'm going to give you a dosing protocol. 200 milligrams a week for males in conjunction with your TRT. So maybe if you're doing 250 milligrams per week through an HRT clinic. 200 milligrams per week, males add on, for collagen synthesis, joint support, everything else. And again, I would not advise that long term. We're talking for a couple months, no longer. And that would be my recommendation. Again, guys, check with the doctors, check with your own personal endocrinologist, or check with the doctors at Prometheus HRT if you have any questions. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much it. I think we gave you more than enough information. Guys, that is Deca. Everything you need to know, full expert breakdown. Seth Spartan, stay safe, stay healthy, and we are out of here.